Hello and welcome to another modelling video. This is Alan from the Mokono Man at YouTube with another model video. Today, building the long-awaited and very exciting range by Kotobukiya, the Frame Girls line. And this particular one, the very first, Gourai, very tank-like in nature. And pretty awesome that this video is being released very close to the release of the anime. This is an earlier kit, so some of the parts are not ideal in articulation, joints and whatnot. It does improve as the line goes on, and they did do a re-release Gourai with full articulated parts and some of those mistakes fixed with more facial expressions and customizable bits. Generally, Koto can be hit and miss. Their Zoid line's very successful and great model kits. Other ones can be a bit ho-hum. This line seems to be very successful in the way that the kits are quite excellent. I love the Mecha look, as well as the articulation and how it goes together. Seems to be their own IP as well, so it looks like it's going to be regularly re-released and milked for quite a while, especially with the line of Gaia Note products and a show on the horizon. What I really like is these are super customizable and encouraged for scratch building or swapping parts. Any of the frame arms or parts from the modelling support goods or weapon packs are compatible with these, and it's more about having fun and just going crazy with the hobby. These products tend to be more on the high end, but I really like how it's out to please and make everyone happy, from toy collectors, snappers and modelers, giving you opportunities of looking really good, snapped right out of the box, all the way to providing all the water slide decals and options and ability to paint. You're also greeted with a ton of runners, colour separating absolutely everything. The seam lines are very well hidden, and looking at just the snap ones is very believable. I feel the need to fill them regardless, and you are left with quite a few leftover parts. Instructions, very clear, a bit of colour, lots of inspiration, and the pastel box art is just so much fun. I decided to take the weird route and did it out of the box, copying the colour scheme and shadowing with decals. On the other side, I generally feel a bit frustrated with kits with a super high parts count, especially a lot of small parts. The reason why I'm not a big fan of things like Dragon and real grade Gunpla, but was happy to go through it, and the build process was fun enough with all the articulated points and many different bits of detail. Highly appreciated. This also led to a lot of parts being glued together and seam lines filled, so this was a very long process job for me. Many months, just a little bit of dabbling here and there before we had something together and painted. I found it very easy to group all the parts into color coordinated bits and paint them individually in little bags. That made the sorting of painting and color separation very easy. I also found a couple of parts still required masking when painting. Color separation is very good and the detail is great, but the detail's that great, the color separation doesn't cover everything. So going to the trouble of hand painting the tiny detail and getting all the colors right and decals and whatnot, there was enough photos of painted examples and instruction fodder of the reference material that it was achievable, but not too bad at all. Painting wise, you do need to mask some areas off where joints and ball and sockets do connect. Masking those are a very good idea, but painting it and assembling it is not too much of a hassle. Some of the pegs and whatnot were sanded down and glued at a later stage. This was very helpful after painting. Once assembled, really happy how it looks just snapped together. It was dismantled, sorted out in parts of colour and bagged as mentioned, and I painted each bag at a time looking at the reference material. Everything started with either a grey or white Tamiya prime job via airbrush, and then using a multitude of lacquers, mostly Mr. Hobby, some F.A.M.S.G, shaded and coloured what was appropriate, and with clear black or clear smoke, shaded panels that were darkened according to the box art, and tried to get the same pose and just colour separation and each panels. This involved facing the panel dead on in my direction and spraying it with a bit of smoke to see a lighter side at the front and darkened to the two sides. I was very playful with the flesh tones in where the blush occurs and the little eye glints and whatnot. Again, copying the box art, and went crazy with trying to get the metallics to look metallic, spraying multiple shades of dark or black silver all the way to a silvery colour, and dulling it down with dull coat to make it look not as shiny and lustery as silver, and more so of a box art pastel-y look. That popped out really well. Once all done, clear coat the lots, applied decals, and everything got a oil F.A.M.S.G black sludge wash. Further painting notes can be found in the previous Honing Your Airbrush Skills 20. Generally, after painting was done and each piece was top coated in F.A.M.S.G flat, one or two tiny errors did occur in the finish. Nothing that's absolutely noticeable. I'm actually almost happy enough to enter this in a competition. The edges were touched up with a weathering pastel pencil. Everything retained a sludge wash and assembled. Shading, another note on shading, under barrels and other areas did get an additional smoke shade and some touch up with lighter green colours on the armour. And got to say that that's just about absolute it in painting and finish. This kit has been an on-again, off-again job for a very long time. Assembly definitely taking a lot of time, but painting was a very, very long chore. Hopefully the next build will be a little easier, a little quicker. This one does have a lot of accessories, and it was a bit of a challenge getting the decals and colour right according to the box art, though the pose and the aesthetic of stripping away that armour, turning it into a bit of clothing and distorting, is just really mesmerizing and quite an interesting concept I've never really imagined or considered for the Mecha Musume craft. And it just popped together very well. The build was super fun. Absolutely highly recommended, especially for snappers. I think snappers will get a lot out of it, building it together and displaying it. Modelers, especially scratch build and converting, will have a ton of fun. I do have more of them. I definitely do intend on building more, thinking about around end of February now. I'll be cracking another one fairly shortly, probably one of the more basic material or whatnot. I've almost got most of the different types, but may go a bit creative and modify it to be something that it's not quite is. All in all, very, very happy how this came out. It's more or less what I roughly envisioned, and will definitely keep this on display in my personal collection for a very long time, as well as putting on circuit and taking it to some competitions and displays and all of that jazz. That all said and done, thank you very, very much for watching. As always, stay tuned for further content, either 1 to 2 videos a week uploaded onto YouTube. Make sure you're subscribed if you wish to follow me, and with some of the weird things about the subscription feed and homepage, there is an alarm bell you can click on if you choose or feel obliged to do so. If you wish to go a bit further today, I have my Facebook and other links down below in the description part of this video. On Facebook, the videos are also posted on that you can see and visit daily or weekly, as well as uploads of every time I've done a heavy dose of modelling or showing some work in progresses, other references I may come across or share, and actions on other platforms. We will catch you guys later and see you all next time.